After going over dozens of ways to attract women, today I want to show you two of the fastest, most effective methods to instantly spark attraction, no matter who she is. But before we dive in, there's one key psychological principle you need to understand about how the human brain works. Imagine this. A smoker visits the doctor. The doctor says, if you smoke again, your heart could stop, you might die. In that moment, the smoker will likely stop cold turkey. But if the doctor simply says, if you quit smoking, you'll be healthier, chances are, the smoker won't change a thing. Why? Because our brains are wired to respond more intensely to negative outcomes than to positive ones. We're built to avoid pain more than we are to chase pleasure. This is the key to what I'm about to show you. So how does this relate to women and attraction? Let's say you're talking to a beautiful woman. What most guys do is try to find something in common, maybe a song they both like, a shared hobby, a favorite movie. That's fine. It breaks the ice. But there's something faster, and way more effective. Instead of bonding over what you both like, bond over what you both hate. From my experience, this creates a much stronger emotional connection. It could be a shared dislike of social media, how fake people act online, or how dating apps have made relationships feel shallow. When two people share a common enemy, even if that enemy is just an idea or trend, they naturally form an alliance. This concept has been true throughout human history. Wars were won, friendships were born, and movements were built around shared enemies. So when you're talking to a girl, ask her, what's something you absolutely can't stand? Or even more directly, who's your enemy? And if you hate the same thing? Boom, instant chemistry. Now, here's the key. Express it with passion. Don't just nod and agree. Be animated. Show her that you feel it too. Another powerful version of this is when both of you dislike the same person. Think about it. If I ask you right now to name someone you love deeply besides your family, you might hesitate or struggle to choose. But if I ask you to name someone you hate, that answer comes quickly. That's because shared dislike builds stronger emotional bonds than shared admiration. So, if the two of you both dislike a certain person, a rude boss, an annoying coworker, a pretentious professor, that can create an instant connection. Of course, you need to tread carefully, because not everyone is comfortable talking about people they dislike early on. But if you can get her to open up about it, and you listen with genuine curiosity, you'll notice something powerful. She'll start speaking with passion, energy, and emotion, and that emotional charge is what builds rapid connection. There's a great story I once read in a book about a guy, let's call him Ross, who worked at a restaurant. He was one of those guys who always had women laughing and chasing him. What was his secret? He used something I call the partners in crime technique. Ross would play harmless pranks at work, create inside jokes with the girls, and build a you and me against the world kind of vibe. If a difficult customer came in, he'd exchange glances with the girl, signaling the inside joke. If the boss yelled at them, they'd later joke about it together. It was always them versus everyone else. That's the same dynamic you want to create, an emotional bubble where it's just the two of you. This doesn't have to be about a person. It can be something as small as a terrible movie you both hate, a city you both find overrated, or a food you both think is disgusting. What matters is that it's shared and emotional. Now let's talk about the second fastest way to attract a woman, making her laugh. Before we get into how to actually do that, let's talk about the psychology behind it. Making a girl laugh is one of the fastest ways to deepen attraction. And here's something interesting, you, as a man, are biologically drawn to women who laugh at your jokes. But for women, it's the opposite, they are drawn to the man who makes them laugh. Let me prove it. Think back to a time when you were in a group setting, maybe with friends or strangers, and a girl laughed at something you said. What happened next? Even if you weren't attracted to her before, suddenly, you noticed her. You felt a spark. That's your subconscious reacting to the validation. Now flip that around. When a woman laughs, genuinely laughs, at something a guy says, the attraction she feels multiplies. If you felt a 3 out of 10, she's feeling a 10. It's intense. But here's the problem, most guys think, well, I'm just not a funny guy. Let me stop you right there. A sense of humor is not something you're born with. It's a skill, something you can learn, just like playing an instrument or lifting weights. I used to be the guy who made awful jokes. Nobody laughed. But then I got obsessed with psychology, studied comedy, watched how comedians structured their jokes, and practiced. Over time, I became the funniest guy in the room, not by chance, but by design. So yes, you can learn to be funny. It's a choice. Now, I can't give you a full comedy masterclass here, but I can give you one of the easiest techniques to start using today. Misinterpretation and speculation. This is huge in romantic comedies, and it works like magic, especially on women. Here's how it works. You listen to what she says, and then you misinterpret it. The best ones are slightly playful, sometimes even flirtatious or exaggerated. For example, if she says, "I was hanging out with my girlfriend the other day," you can say, "Wait, you have a girlfriend? That's so cool, I didn't expect you to be so open-minded." Do they get jealous when you talk to guys? Boom. You took a normal sentence and twisted it into something unexpected and playful. The formula is simple. Misinterpret, then exaggerate. Even if you're shy or nervous, you can keep it subtle. If she mentions her girlfriend and you just say, "Wait, are you a lesbian?" then go quiet and let the silence do the work. Chances are, she'll laugh and start explaining while giggling. You can also speculate. If she makes a sarcastic comment about your outfit, you could say, "Are you just negging me because you secretly like me?" Playful, bold, fun. Before wrapping up, here are 2 final rules when using humor. Don't laugh at your own jokes before she does. Let her react. If you laugh too soon, it kills the mystery and confidence. Never explain your jokes. If she doesn't laugh, either it wasn't funny to her, or she didn't get it. Either way, move on. The moment you start explaining, the joke is dead. To sum it all up, the fastest way to create attraction with a woman is through shared dislike and genuine laughter. These 2 emotional triggers, negative bonding and humor, shortcut the connection process like nothing else. If you want to dive deeper into how to master humor, how to use emotional psychology in conversations, or how to turn any social interaction into something magnetic, let me know. Until then, remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being real and knowing how to connect on a deeper level.